Good afternoon. My name is John with Pine Tree, and I have the great pleasure being here with Dr. Andrea Sullivan.
How are you doing today, John?
Good, and I think I'm the guinea pig today. Am I?
Absolutely. John, we were talking at the gym the other night, and we were talking about some of the strategies we've been utilizing to live better longer. That's
Right.
kind of my motto is here is to inspire people to live healthier lives. And so he said, well, I'm not quite sure what I'm signing up for, but bring it on. And so as a lot of you that know me know that one of my mottos is act older later. But you know, while we're at it, why not look and feel older later too?
Got it.
So that's where we're going with this. And recently there's been a lot of interest in what kind of strategies we can use to age both from the inside out and the outside in the most healthy ways. Certainly anti-aging is all the buzz. You hear it everywhere. People
Right.
are always talking about anti-aging. And honestly, you know, what does that mean? Well, to some people that means Botox. To some people it means plastic surgery. To some people it means, you know, eating well and hydrating and doing the best they can on that level. So there's a lot of different ways that we can look at this. And I've been working with a company for many years, and I know we were on here before talking a lot about our nutritional technology and how we can help people really figure out if they're doing the best they can to protect their cells, to age slower on the inside. And today we're going to talk a little bit about aging on the outside. Time and time again, patients come in and say, gee, I'm thinking about doing Botox. What do you think about that? I don't really know what I think about that. There's something intuitively that is a little frightening about it. For me, certainly it's effective for a lot of people, but then the next question is, well, do you know any alternatives? And actually I do, and this is what we're going to demonstrate today with John. So we're going to demonstrate an at-home treatment. Let me show you what it looks like so you know, John. There you go.
Got it.
Looks a little bit like a newfangled cell phone.
SPA. You can't make it. Doesn't work for calls though.
No, you
Okay.
can't, no
Got it.
outgoing calls. Actually, not many incoming calls either. So what we do is we start with a clean working surface.
Got
So
it.
all we have is a nice little cleanser on here. And this is actually a cleanser in the age lock category of cleansers. And why we call it age lock is because it actually affects our aging on a genetic level.
Really?
It's crazy. Sounds like Star Trek. But this company is a big R&D company, research and development. And what they do is team up with scientists all around the world to look at causes of aging. I'm not making this stuff up. See?
Okay. So I mean, what are some of the triggers for the aging, for cell aging and stuff, other than just age?
Right. It is kind of, there is this natural process. Now, we can't change our genes.
Right.
But what we can do is we can change how they express themselves.
Okay.
Or the activity level of genes.
Okay.
And so what that means, well look at this. When you walk down the street, do you see people out there, John, that look fantastic? They just, you know, they're healthy, they're glowing, they just look, and you just think, I wonder how old that person is, and you can't even really tell. And then sometimes you walk down the street and you look at somebody and you say, ooh, I don't want to age like that.
Right.
You know,
Right.
but we can control
aging
it.
gracefully, so to speak.
Exactly. I just had to grab some moisture spray.
Got it.
So this is a little moisture mist,
Okay.
so I'm going to cover your eyes. So there's going to be a
Okay.
little spray on here just to moisten the area. And what we're going to do, this is a treatment. So this is kind of a cool treatment.
Okay.
I'm pretty in love with this. I've been using this myself for a couple of years. If everybody's wondering why I don't look 73, the 73 years that I am.
Wow. Yeah.
Just kidding. Not quite, but getting there, fighting the good fight. We're all fighting the good fight against the aging process. And that's really what it's all about. So what we've got here on John's face is a nice little treatment you can use at home. It's called a galvanic spa. And this type of treatment has been used in European spas for about 70 or 80 years. Very, very effective. The only drawback to it is, for the best results, you need to use it a couple of times a week. And there aren't a lot of people who can afford this high-end spa treatment a couple of times a week.
So what does it do?
So what it does specifically is uses a microcurrent. It doesn't feel like anything. Do you feel anything?
Just a little tiny bit.
You
Yeah.
do feel a little something?
Yeah.
Okay. And what this does is that it uses a little microcurrent to make the skin more permeable. What that means is we can remove impurities from the skin and we can push good ingredients into the skin far more efficiently than we could do it manually. So it's about a 5-minute treatment. We're going to do one side of John's face just to see if we see a difference. And some people you do see a difference pretty quickly and some you can't. We might have to have him post pictures later on tonight, tomorrow morning. And if it's really looking dramatic, we will have to, do the other side of the film. I mean, pretty much. We don't want people to think that a stroke, no, do we? But it's usually not that dramatic, but the net result is we're removing impurities, and this is part one of the two-step process.
Sure.
And this part one is letting the pores breathe, cleaning out some of the debris and just, environmental pollution. And it has very soothing ingredients like sea kelp, vanilla, marigold extracts. Things that are good for the skin.
Does it clean out mental debris as well? Or is
Mental debris, I think that there's an extra charge for that.
Okay, yeah.
Oh my gosh, and there is an extra charge for a psychoval as well. Okay, and then when we get a long beep, we're going to just go ahead and we're going to rinse off the pre-treatment gel, and then we're going to do the treatment gel. Now, I mentioned a term, and excuse my back, I mentioned a term you might not have heard before. I said age lock earlier. And age lock is a whole technology platform that this company has been utilizing to reset the genes, to get them to express themselves like they did when we were younger. And it's not as simple as, turning it up or turning it down.
Right.
But if you think about the soundboard at a concert, it's a very fine melody. We're adjusting some up, we're adjusting some down. And that's exactly what happens with our genes as we age, or all the different genes that have to do with aging.
Got it.
I mean, obviously there are genes that have to do with every single thing.
Right.
And in 2003 was actually when the human genome was mapped. And at that point it was a land rush. Every research company, every pharmaceutical company was going crazy, going, okay, now we know what genes have to do with Parkinson's disease, have to do with diabetes. How can we influence them in a favorable way? And so what this company, which is NSE, or New Skin Enterprises, publicly traded company, they've been around 27 or 28 years. They're a very good company. They've been doing research, and they've been teaming up with researchers all around the world, including the researchers that have done that have really published the first studies on slowing the aging process in a healthy way.
Right.
Basically what most of us want to do is live a very long, healthy life and then have a very short period of morbidity, meaning we're sick for a very short period of time, and then we depart. And that's really what we all want to do. A little more spray, John, so close your eyes for a moment. Okay.
All right, so we're doing it again.
And now we're doing the treatment phase. So this is the treatment gel. And what this is doing is removing any remaining debris, and it's pushing in all kinds of good ingredients that are going to slow the aging process. And in fact, there's ingredients here that stop certain enzymes whose sole purpose in life seems to be to destroy our structural proteins. And that's why our skin tends to get a little saggy and less firm as we get older. So this has all kinds of ingredients specifically for that. Also balancing the pH, recovery from stress, antioxidants, like vitamin E, and just things that are really going to be helpful for the skin. And at the least, what we end up with at the end of this 5-minute treatment is skin that feels really clean and really healthy. And at best, what we might see is a little bit of a lift, a little more hydration, and a really healthy glow. So we're using John as our guinea pig. I have no idea if this is going to work or not. And,
so instead of looking 50, I'll look about 20, right? Is that the?
We certainly hope so.
All right. Yeah.
We're going for that.
Okay.
I can't say 20, 30. Yeah, 30 years younger. 5 minutes,
Just
no
kidding.
problem. Oh my God, here comes the stampede. Lock the door.
Just kidding.
So anyway, really a lot of fun. Now, some of the other research that they've been doing is looking at skin elasticity. And there's a brand new product coming out within the next month that restores elasticity or elastin production to our skin. We've learned, and this is actually all based on research out of UCLA, an amazing scientist, Dr. Chantel Bernison. And for years, she's been working on how can we get the bounce back into our skin? How can we get that spring, that firmness?
Right.
And what she came up with was a process that, again, uses botanical ingredients. That's the other cool thing, is most of the ingredients in these products are all natural. And she figured out a way to restore elastin production. So we are making elastin like we did when we were in our 20s. Since you mentioned, will I look like I'm in my 20s? No, but I have a serum to sell you that will. But it's true. So now we've taken the best of this age lock technology, which resets the genes, and this wonderful science that's been discovered at UCLA to restore elasticity, and we're going to have a product that I really think the results are going to rival Botox.
Wow.
And it's going to be less expensive, and it's going to be helpful for the skin. You're putting good ingredients into the skin. So stay tuned for that, or if you want more information, you can certainly give me a call or stop by the office.
All right.
Okay, so we're finished this treatment. I'm just going to remove the rest of the gel. So the gel that I'm using with this technology is actually the ingredients, the good ingredients that are being delivered by this nice little gentle microcurrent. If you know someone that's been to esthetician school or cosmetology, you know, they learn this in school, but it's a very big, very expensive unit that, you know, some spas will use, but not a lot will. And so this is a nice way to do that kind of treatment at home and really get some nice benefits. So we're just going to do one more rinse, and we're going to put a little moisturizer on your skin, and then we're going to turn to aging from the inside out. Because when John and I first connected, he was really interested in nutrition, and he had asked me, what are good nutritional products, and how do I know if something is working?
Right.
Well, now we can measure. And this is another technology by this fantastic company. And what this technology does, I think we've talked about it before, is it measures absorption of nutrients in your skin.
So you can tell, because I guess for different types of nutrition where people will absorb, I mean, one vitamin blend that may work for some person may not work for another. Is that just the way your body absorbs things? Is that part of it, or?
Yes, that's a big part of it.
Okay.
People have different absorption levels. The other part of it is, a lot of, people say, oh, vitamin C is vitamin C is vitamin C, for an example, but it's not necessarily so. And there are some synthetic forms of vitamin C that our body might not recognize as vitamin C. Certainly, actually, a better example would be vitamin E. Our body does not recognize any synthetic forms of vitamin E. So if you're taking a product that has vitamin E, you're not absorbing it if it's from a synthetic base. So again, the companies that are really worth their salt are doing the research and figuring out exactly what type of each ingredient the body will be able to use. And then with this technology, we can measure and see if that's working. So let's change seats. And so the history is that, before John got back into his fitness program, he was having so much fun with the pine tree, he had no time to take care of himself. And we had to have a love chat about that. And so now he's really started working out. He looks fantastic. He's taking care of himself. And so we are checking and seeing if what he's doing nutritionally now is working for him. So he decided to, select some products, did some research, and now we're going to see if this is working for him. So you just place your hand right here.
Okay.
This is a 90-second test.
Got it.
And just for a little bit of background, we did talk about this before, but we have a, let me see if I can give you a close-up here. Okay, so everybody's going to score in one of these ranges, and you see it's color-coded from blue all the way down to red. And so we're looking for people to be in the green or the blue zone. And if they're in one of these regions, we're going to make a recommendation, because that means they don't have good cell protection. This is looking at overall cellular protection. This technology was actually developed at the University of Utah to screen in the eye for macular degeneration.
Oh, interesting.
They found out that they could get readings on the skin and found that it very highly correlates to tissue biopsies, to blood measures, but it's a simple 90-second test that we can do right in the office, and people can immediately get an idea of what they've been doing nutritionally for the past 4 to 8 weeks. So it's not, it won't bust you on what you did last night.
But this is, so probably, I think last time it was probably like 2 years ago.
It was a
Probably,
while ago,
probably
and,
almost 2
and
years
do you
ago.
want to say about how you scored at that time,
It
do
was,
you remember?
I remember it was all bad.
It was all
It was
bad.
all bad, yeah.
It wasn't very good, and we won't say all that. But what was good, what happened? What did you do after you had that test? You turned it around, didn't you?
I think that was about, I decided it was, time to start making some changes. So I changed my diet around. I've been a vegetarian for about the last 2 years now. It's, so we'll see.
Well, we've got to get a close-up on what's happened with John since
This is
he's
better?
made some changes. 66,000 is a very good score. Probably less than, you can take your hand
Okay.
off, but really, huge round of applause, everybody here, because probably less than 5% of the population score this high.
Really?
Yes,
Wow.
because most people, the average American eats less than 3 servings of fruits and vegetables. And what this is looking at is the nutrients you're getting from your fruits and vegetables, as well as supplements that you take.
Good.
So what you are doing is working for you, and you
Awesome.
should be proud of that score.
Wow.
And I'm
Very
going to
cool.
write it on this card, and you're going to put it on your refrigerator, and you get bragging rights. That's very good. I don't know if any of you saw this technology last year on Dr. Oz. He scanned everybody in the audience, and I got to tell you, 80% of the audience was in the lower 2 range, which are dangerously low scores as far as risk for chronic disease, premature aging.
If I remember, mine was there.
I think you were in a D range.
was
If we
in
were
D
looking
range,
at his
I was.
report card, he was kind of
I
like
was
a
in the
D
D
or a D
range.
minus, and now he's an A plus.
Wow.
A plus over here. That's fantastic. But I got to tell you something. Dr. Oz scored 75,000.
Wow.
And but here's what his message was. I don't do anything fancy. I do the same thing everybody else can do.
Right.
You just need to make it part of your daily life to eat more fruits and vegetables and take your multivitamins. And that's our message for today.
Very
Here's a poster child. Thank you, John.
Thank you.
Congratulations. You should be very pleased with that score.
Very cool.